they hit an area real hard and then they move on. And then they do that in a cycle, and they share information with other teams. You know, they're trained elsewhere. You know, I believe the teams that we caught were trained in Chile, and they come here prepared. You know, I mean, it's very methodical. You've seen the videos we provided. They come in teams with backpacks. Each backpack has a different tool set. Some are the breaching tools, some are the electronics to jam alarm systems. Very quick, sophisticated actions.
What are we seeing in terms of laws over the last, these 3 or 4 that happened this week?
Because these are so recent, we don't have total numbers on that. You know, I know for a fact that 1 or 2 of the homes, people still aren't back in town, so they haven't been able to assess what's missing. So we don't have those numbers yet, but I can say when we were getting hammered, it probably approached 1 million a week out of Oakland County.
And where are the ones who were arrested? Or have they been deported, or are they still here?
They're in the criminal process.
And so are we looking at a situation where people need to be paying closer attention? In other words, if you have a high-end home,
Yes.
you said backing up to a golf course, to the woods, and so forth.
Yes.
What do you do to prevent this?
Yeah, that's why I as soon as I started to see that we were getting hit again, that's why I posted it last night when I got a call on one of these burglaries, because I want people to, you know, we tend to let our guard down at certain points. You got to up your game. A lot of these homes that have been hit, the alarm was off. If you have an alarm, use it. Try to get your devices hardwired. Try to have redundancy of communication so that you have a hardwired phone, you have an internet phone, you have a cellular phone, you have a radio backup. Because again, you don't know what's going to be jammed with their jamming system, but we know a hard line most likely won't. But at least it gives you chances to get that signal out. Use the alarm. Hardwire devices. So wireless motion detectors can be jammed. Hardwired back to your system can't. So do those things. Be situationally aware. You know, watch yourself, watch your home, watch your neighborhood. If you see something that's unusual, don't be afraid to call us or your local police if it's someone else. We'd rather check out 1,000 nothings and miss the real deal. They are doing a lot of pre-op surveillance, so at some time or another, they're there before they hit. So if you see something, say something.
And is that calling 911? Even if you're like, I think there's a weird van that's been loitering around my neighbor's house the last 3 days, and it doesn't look like painters. You know, do you want people calling 911 over something like that, or do you want a non-emergency?
Well, I mean, yeah, we have non-emergency numbers, if you know, but whatever is at your fingertips. If you see something that concerns you for your safety or your home, yeah, call us by either number.
Can you name the towns that were hit?
There are multiple communities. I'm not sure that they're ready to individually release it yet, but it was multiple communities across Oakland County.
Do you think they're coming from Chile again, or?
We don't know because we haven't caught any out of this group yet, but the MO is super similar.
What other cities besides Phoenix do you remember?
There were, I know LA was getting hit. I know there were some cities in New York. I can get you a list. Indiana. I think there were some in Tennessee. I can talk to Ohio. Yeah, I mean, they're all across the country. Early on, when we started to get deeper into this, the intelligence estimate was at least 100 teams of 4 or more were operating just from Chile across the country. So now we know we have teams from Colombia, and New York intelligence has teams, criminal gangs from Venezuela now. So we don't know how big the picture is, but we know it's startling.
Sheriff, do you think they're back in Oakland County because the weather's getting nicer out?
No, I don't think so. I think the heat was on for a bit, and they cycled elsewhere when it wasn't quite as omnipresent. But, I mean, if you think about it, a lot of the reason to be in Oakland County is during the winter. You've got a lot of snowbirds, very high-end homes, and that's when a lot of the homes were hit. There were nobody there. Yeah.
Do you have any indication of how many of these 3 or 4-man crews are working in Oakland County?
We don't, because A, they don't talk, even when you catch them, and B, they're cycling, and so it's hard to put a real number on that. You just don't know.
Do we know, like, do they operate, do they go to a hotel, do they rent a house? I mean, where do they operate?
They've done all the above. They've done hotels, they've done houses, Airbnbs, they've done, because of COVID, apartment complexes switched to a lot of online, so they've rented apartments. They have multiple identities, so if an identity gets burned or used, they get rid of it and use another one. They've actually been caught in some states that don't have any kind of no bail or bond kind of thing, and they get caught, they give the one name, they get out, they dump that, and then they go back at it with a different name in a different state. Yep.
So you expect, there's another week of folks going on spring break, maybe 2 weeks, I think there's this whole cycle going on, so you expect more of these to happen then because nobody's been caught yet for this cycle?
I just think it's an ongoing problem, not necessarily related to spring break or winter. I think when their rotation gets back, they're coming here because there's assets here. They were taking a lot of money out of very high-end homes, and a lot of our victims are names everybody in this room would know.
Are the sheriff's office and the local police officers, are they doing more neighborhood patrols, stepping that up because of this?
Yeah, of course. So, as soon as I got word last night, we put out to all of our patrol cars, to go look in some of these neighborhoods to, excuse me, do the kinds of proactive, kind of driving and looking for anything that may be associated with that. And I'm sure all of our partner agencies did. I got a call from a partner agency last night that kind of spurred this on. Yes?
Sheriff, a lot of times people put on Facebook or Instagram, they're on some exotic vacation somewhere. Is there any indication that these teams are that sophisticated? Are they going through social media accounts to find out if somebody's home or not?
Yeah, it doesn't specifically look like they're using Facebook to identify their targets because it may not be associated with a house. Typically, they seem to focus on a house and a person that they have done research on more so than Facebook, but it's not something I would ever do. I would strongly encourage people not post, I'm going on vacation, my house will be empty, please join it. If you want to post pictures of your great vacation, I suggest when you get back, say I'm home, but I had an amazing vacation, here's my pictures. I'm at the airport, be gone for 2 weeks. It's just not a good idea. And the other thing, a good safety reminder, check your devices, check your phones. There's geospatial tags that go on pictures that you take on your phone. And if you know what you're doing and you don't have those tags turned off, you can determine where that picture was taken and at what time. One of the guys, I think from Mythbusters, took a picture, a selfie, leaving for work, and he had the geo information on that picture, and someone able to determine exactly what time he leaves for work and where his house was from that picture he posted. So, everything you put out on the internet, it's not just your family and friends looking at it. I caution that on so many levels, not just home safety, personal safety, child safety. What your kids talk about and who they share information with. If they ask them personal questions about them or their family, they shouldn't share any of that. Anybody that needs to know that knows it.
Yeah, any video of these recent ones?
Actually, some of the folks are out of town, and we're trying to get access into some of the video. So we don't have much at this point, but I wanted to, unfortunately say they're back because, the community needs to be aware.
It's not just the homes that were targeted, but the neighbors may have those doorbell videos that you're doing.
Yeah, and the investigators always do a canvass and see what kind of recording devices are around. There's a host of things that they're doing, but I think the question was specifically we've had very good video of some of the homes that have been hit, so obviously that will be part of the current investigations to try to access the video cameras if they had it, and do they have usable video.
Do we know specifically about these guys, how they case? In other words, like, do they go out at night looking for the houses that are dark?
Yeah, they do it in a variety of ways. You know, in communicating with our partners across the country, we've seen them where they've used trail cams with battery-operated cameras that they have in a camouflage setting, and it records comings and goings. They've used trackers on cars to determine when you're coming and going. They do pre-op surveillance different ways and different modalities. And you know, we have pretty good information that there's been drones utilized. Yep.
Trackers on your car, so what would you look for if you're in I wouldn't worry about it because of my car in my neighborhood, but somebody in a nicer neighborhood, what should they be looking for? You know.
Well, I doubt you're going to be crawling under your Mercedes, but you know, anything that's foreign that's attached to your vehicle would be something that, you know, would raise questions, but it's just something to be aware of.
It's not like you can use your iPhone and scan your car and see if there's a device there that isn't yours.
No, because it depends on the modality of the tracker, whether it's transmitting or not.